This is a short video to depict my visit to the Nazi Party rally grounds in Nuremberg, Germany. If you're unfamiliar with what these are, in the 1930s, this was where the Nazis had all those big parades like you see in Indiana Jones. And his little background on Adolf Hitler, he was actually, from Austria, and he was a pretty poor student, really, and not really that physically fit. He was like really excitable about a lot of things. He was homeless for a few years. He was actually in a homeless shelter trying to sell paintings that was funded by Jewish philanthropists. And in the early 20s, he had these beer hall pushes where he would these big speeches, and he tried to like surround a building and take over the government. He said he had armed soldiers outside, but they threw him in jail. He sentenced him to 5 years, which is pretty light for trying to overthrow your government. He only served 9 months. In that time, he wrote Mein Kampf, and then later he would run for president of Germany. He lost, but President Hindenburg made him the chancellor, sort of the vice president, the chancellor they call it. And next year, Hindenburg died, and Hitler got promoted, and everything went to hell after that. So he used democracy against itself, but he quickly started building the Nazi Party rallying grounds that look something like this. And it doesn't look huge, but it's really large. And at any one point, they had 100 to 150,000 SS and SA troops marching up this road here. And you don't think this is a big road until you see how huge it really is. And the buildings I'm going to show you now are this one here, which is the document building. If you can see this building here, it's where the documentation center was, and it's quite large. They had some ponds here. There were actually the original photos. There was a large, like a pole here on either side. I'm not sure what it would be called, like an eagle on top. These were waterways. This building is it's gone now. There's apartments, but this road is still here. And then the Zeppelin field is over here, which I'll show you. This is where the famous parade scenes are held. And then there's another parade area here. The March field is in this area. But most of this is gone now, but this area and this part are remaining. I'll show you that momentarily. The Wikipedia page about these grounds has some more information about it here. There's this Golden Hall inside the Zeppelin Tribune. Let's see. It talks about all the different rallies they had here. It's a pretty awful thing when you think about it. There's no other purpose other than to indoctrinate people into this, I guess, culture, and to really impress upon loyalty upon people. And if you registered at the document center, you could be like an official Nazi. You were in. It was like a high pressure politics, I think. But they had this place called the Hall of Honor, which is still around. This building here. This is the sort of the back side of it. And this photo here, you can see there's Hitler and Heinrich Himmler and Victor Lutze are here. And look at how many people are standing around in this. You can get a sense of how large it is. There's Adolf Hitler here. But here's another. This is what you're going to be seeing soon. This is an aerial photo of the documentation center, which emulates the Roman Colosseum. There was a fair, like a carnival happening when I was here recently. But you can come in this area and see the inside of the documentation center. It's red on the interior and like a white on the outside. This is the Grosse Strasse. This is a really long, really wide street. You'll see in the video where at the end of it there were these two columns. It's sort of the entrance to the whole thing. They could have 100 to 150,000 SS troops marching up the street, and the sides of it, much of it were these stone seats that went up, but they're covered in grass and dirt now, mostly overgrown, but you can still see them in a few places, which you'll see. The Zeppelin field is the famous area here, which I was mentioning was also overgrown, and the officials would stand up here. There's like an audience, and they'd have parades, and there's a stand here, and this was famously blown up by the Americans in 1945, the swastika, and then all of these columns were blown up as well, and they're all gone, of course. Today, and it looks much different, but the center part's still there. Here's the video of the American Army blowing up that large swastika in 1945, thankfully. And here are the Americans right after the capture of this area here. There's an American, you can still see like pencils of American soldiers had written their names, like Sergeant this or that on the wall, and you can still see that today. Here's more photos of, you can get the sense of the scale, how big this place is. And then there's the March Field, which is even larger, which I didn't visit. It's now there's construction going on in that area. Much of this is now gone, actually. But that should give you some sense of what you'll be seeing. To give you a sense of where it is on a map, a modern map versus an ancient plan or an old plan, the plan on the right here has, you can see this document center, and that's the document center over here as well. And there are these two columns, there were like these big eagle-topped columns, or the bottoms of those are still there, but that's missing now. There were some buildings across the street, which is just a park now, you can see over here. And then the Grosse Strasse is this long thing up the middle. The buildings to the right are completely gone, but on the left you still have the Zeppelin Field over here, and the March Plaza is gone on the other side as well. So we'll be going in here So today's journey will be going into the documentation center here. We'll walk into this door, and then we go around the outside. We rent a couple of electric scooters. The street is longer than you'd think. Go up Grosse Strasse. And if you want to get an idea of the size of the scale, these are cars parked here. See how wide this street is. We'll take a turn up this Otto Ernst Schweizer Strasse. And we're going to go up to Zeppelin Strasse here. And if you look from the air, you can see the entrances. There used to be the entrances to the field here, and people used to sit here. This has been cleaned off because Americans play football here, and there's the rest of it is become just grass, and there's stairs and other entrances. And then you can see this is the old Reichstag platform that they would give speeches from. This is where that swastika was exploded, and these used to be columns here on either side. Interestingly, if you see these little spots, this is the men's and women's restrooms right there, just in case you're worried about logistics at all. And that is this area. There was a carnival outside the grounds as we approached the Nuremberger Volksfest, which is the quietest carnival you've ever heard in your life. They have music, people inside having fun, sliding, but nobody's making any noise. We thought it was closed, but there are people on the rides.
Didn't think to check for services.
I say there's conflicting messages here because it seems like a happy, active place, but it's just oddly quiet if you're an American.
Oh shit, it's blocked off, dude.
If you drive along, you can see the front of the building here.
What the? Very strange to see Captain America.
Are those concerts here?
Wait. Captain America meets Superman? That is super strange.
Now this is comic book related.
Yeah.
It just got even more free.
Yeah. It says Captain America meets Superman at the Doxy Parade.
Whoa!
Oh shit.
Whoa. Oh, it's under hella construction. That's still awesome. Look how big that is. Everyone's tripping on it.
This area is very large. To get up the Grosse Strasse just a little bit, we rented some scooters to drive up so we could turn left to Zeppelin Field. And you can see the ruins of the seating area on the right here. There's another one on the left, and the street in the middle was soldiers all the way across. Here's that seating area. A lot of it's overgrown, and there's trees and moss coming out. Some places you can't see it at all, but it's where people used to sit on either side of the Grosse Strasse. I think it went up higher. There were wooden scaffold seating as well. And it just shows you how long the street is. I guess at one point there were up to 150,000 soldiers could march on this Grosse Strasse at one time. And you can see how far we're going with these scooters just to get, a short distance on the street. And it must have been really different back in the 1920s and 30s. Up this little cutoff to the Zeppelin Field was a strange little cowboys and Indians village that was built in this area. It's really weird to see. I guess it was closed in 1971, but for a while, people could dress up like cowboys and Indians in the Old West up in a little village in the street. It was super strange.